Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to the start of this marathon stream for St. Jude Children Research Hospitals. I'm going to pop a link in chat. It's the only link you're really going to need today. It's the St. Jude link. Did that?
I don't see us on the stream.
I do.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Oh,
lies.
With that. Okay.
All right, we're just starting out.
We're
working out the
starting strong. Starting strong. My okay, it's just my Streamlabs has crashed. I put in a command and nothing came up, but it's working. It's just I can't see it. That's the only command you're going to need. St. Jude there. We're aiming for a goal of $3,000 today over the next 24 hours. We've got some incentives there. They are more than our usual channel prices because we're raising money for charity. So if you see anyone looking for donations or anything like for a donation link or anything like that, please pop the St. Jude command. Subs and bits will not support the charity. We've turned off the hype train and I've disabled my personal donation link. So all proceeds, so long as you follow that link, will go to the charity. You can see the rewards there. We've got for 20, that should be dollars. They should all be dollars. I'll update the command in a second. I've done it in pounds. Curse my native homeland. $20, gift a player an advantage. $50, gift a player a nat 20. $100, we will draw. One person will draw from the deck of many. $250, we'll create an NPC. You can create an NPC. Give us a brief description and we'll work them in. And $500, introduce a boss monster to oppose the party. Let's go around and say hello to everyone, shall we? Lauren, thank you so much for kicking off the marathon today. Hey!
Hi! I am so excited to be here. I am completely honored to be able to kick this off. Once we are done, I am super excited to spend the next 23 or so hours watching everybody else play. But for the moment, I am focused on these amazing players who have all agreed to do something that's been an idea of mine for a while. So We'll have everybody introduce their characters in a moment, but if you're wondering who I am Lauren. I am the community manager for D&D Beyond. I'm not in my normal location. I'm actually here at D&D Beyond, so thank you to my employers for letting me steal their office for a little while.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for kicking this off as well. We appreciate you. We'll go clockwise around the screen and go next to Kicker VO. Kicker, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. Very excited to be playing this game. This is actually my first time playing an Aarakocra, but I've been definitely wanting to play one for a while, and especially with Lauren running the game. Should I introduce my character?
Not just yet. We'll do that in game, but I'm excited for all of your characters.
But yes, I am Kika at KikaVO on Twitter. I make some small indie games and mostly play on people's streams and do trans representation and organize inclusivity and representation panels for events. I actually put one together for PAX East on RPG Aftercare. I will not be on it, but I did all the coordination for it. So if you're on PAX on Saturday at PAX East this year, then check it out.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. Next around the screen, we have El Warriors. Warriors, how you doing?
Hi, I'm pretty good. Really excited for this game. It's the first time that I play with most of you beautiful people. I've played with Scrat before, well, as the DM. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I am El Warriors on the internet. I do streaming for tabletop RPG games in Spanish and also play games sometimes, and I'm really bad at it. But today, today I'm playing in English because, yes, I want to play every day, always. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. We've already got our first donation in. Thank you so much, Dustin Fletcher, for letting us know that it works, first of all. Let's do this. All the burbs, $20 in, so there is an advantage for one of us. Let us know who. Hopefully that'll be in chat. So, lastly, no wait, actually I'm last, so you're not even last. Jess, it's great to have you back. How are you doing?
It's been a hot second since I've been on this channel. I've missed it. And man, oh man, just kick off this charity. I'm super excited to be here, let alone with the star-studded cast. I've never gotten to play a sweet burb, so I'm so ready for this. You can find me at Burst of Hope on Twitter. I am currently in the middle of a project dealing with setting up some panels on human resources in the tabletop industry.
Fantastic. I'm Scrat. If you're on this channel, you probably already know who I am. I love welcoming people to D&D, and if you want to be one of those people, hit me up on Twitter. But today, do that tomorrow. Today, let's focus on the charity. St. Jude is the command. I've updated it, so now it's all in fancy. Now it's all in your fancy dollar signs. Now, there you go. Lauren, I'll hand over to you. You can start us off. Oh, and Dustin said you can choose who gets the advantage. He's shifted that burden straight onto you, Lauren.
Well, I think for the first one, Scrat, why don't we give it to you, since you're going to be running all these awesome games for the next couple hours. So we'll give the very first advantage unto you.
Aww.
And you can use it because you're all at the ice cream festival. Yay!
Yes!
My
So-
dream.
You are all here for a different reason than the ice cream festival, but it's kind of this festive occasion to be walking, flying, cruising through as you are going to Home, which we'll get to in just a moment. But I would like for each of you to take a moment and tell me a little bit, and all of us, a little bit about your characters, who they are, what their pronouns are, and what they might be doing as they are wandering through the festival of all kinds of sweet treats. And we'll go around in the same sequence. I'm gonna let you premiere the name of your character, but Kika, who are you playing and what are they doing at the ice cream festival?
My character is a monk who looks very much like a bearded vulture. Her naturally white plumage is painted red with some streaks of like gold right now because she wanted to look extra pretty today. She grew up in this area, but eventually ended up wandering out and making her life as a bounty hunter, mostly preventing thugs from hurting people and protecting the less powerful than herself. And her name is
Now, I have to ask, because it's awesome. Does it actually mean anything in Orin, or is it just an awesome utterance?
I think she was allowed to choose her own name, and that's what she came up with when she
I
was
love
very little.
And I am very happy to meet and what is doing at the ice cream festival at this moment as you are headed to Home?
Is sadly lactose intolerant, so she can't have any ice cream. So she's just looking right now.
Oh.
I am super happy to tell you that the ice cream festival has a variety of versions of ice cream, not just made out of regular old milk, but there is the coconut milk variety, there is the soy variety, there is gelato in case you would rather have something more fruity. So there are versions available for all sorts of people. So with that in mind, is there anything you would like to grab?
I think she's taking her time. She's very meticulous about trying to figure out just the right thing to try first. A bit indecisive, perhaps.
I think you are allowed to be a little picky. That's just fine. Who else is also wandering through the festival of sorbet and ice cream? Elwarius, who are you playing and what are you doing at the festival?
Yeah, I'm playing Teko. He's a cleric of the Twilight Domain. Basically, he grew up. I was thinking he maybe grew up as part of the orphanage, but at some point he got lost in the woods. And what happened was that he, instead of becoming, instead of getting in danger, he found shelter in the night. And he's kind of he looks like a spotted owl. So he found out, I was thinking that maybe he had trouble. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think my headphones are dying for some reason, but if you can hear me, it's fine. So I was thinking that he might have probably had like side problems up until that time, and then when he found himself in the night, he found out that he could actually see really really well, and from that point forward, he decided that he was going to basically connect himself with the night and try to understand it better. And over time, he developed this religion that worships the night as a concept and as a shelter for those who maybe wander away from the light. So now that he's an adult, that's what he does. He has maybe a temple on the outskirts of Holholm, and the temple is basically dedicated to those who get lost and wander in the night. He tries to maybe offer them shelter and food, but today he is eating all the ice cream because he doesn't get that very often. So he is definitely trying a little bit of everything. Like he probably has like a little cup that is stained out of like every color, from like he has already tried everything, and he's like pouring a little more.
Just samples
Yeah,
abound of everything. I love it.
And if I may quickly, thank you very much. We've had another two donations come in. Evan, or the Maori nerd, has donated an advantage to you, Lauren. And we've just had one come in from Kentucky Hawkeye. Great cause time for the March of Dice. Hopefully Hawkeye will let us know who that advantage is for in chat. Thank you very much, everyone. Getting us off to a wonderful start.
Thank you. And next up, Burst of Hope. Who are you playing as, and what are you doing at the Ice Cream Festival as you head to Holholm?
Does this ice cream festival have like typical carnival booths?
Oh,
with
absolutely.
Games? Okay, just making sure. So, you see Andy, and you look at Andy, and they are the person who skips leg day every day. Big, giant, brawny pecs and the chest, and just sprawling like Dorito bod, right? Andy's a paladin, and Andy is a good them. They are ready to protect. As you see Andy walking through the carnival, it's a juggling between I'm going to pop as many balloons and play all the games and catch all the big prizes and start handing them out to little kids, and then clearly needs to go find some dark chocolate, some Chilean cacao, and just like some spices and all the richest flavors of ice cream. But Andy's based off of an Andean Tunky, so like the head is bright orange and has this giant lump of plumage. Their face is just, the beak's so small and Screech is so big. Andy's very awkward looking.
I love it. But you absolutely are snacking away on some of the spiciest dark chocolate that you can. Finally, Scrat, who are you playing as, and what are you doing at the Ice Cream Festival at this moment?
I am playing Feathers Cacaw, a large brown owl who has been away for some time in the forest, just returning. And this is going to kind of be like a metaphor for my own discovering that I'm lactose intolerant this last year. So Feathers is going to come back from the forest and be so excited to be allowed all the biscuits and the chocolate and the ice cream and everything else. So, like, Feathers is eating far too much. Feathers is somewhere with a brain freeze, dipping chocolate chip cookies into vanilla ice cream with caramel. Just a big old mess.
And it is at that moment, as you are all enjoying the festival, but heading towards Holholm, which is the reason you have all reappeared here in the city of Boken. You all see each other arriving kind of at the same time, and you hear a very familiar voice calling out specifically to Feathers Cacaw, but it's a voice that you haven't heard in a while. You do hear Quilara, who is a hawkish, large Aarakocra, kind of stooped a little with age as she is putting the final bags onto the back of the cart where her and her fellow Aarakocra are going to sit. And she looks over at you and says, thought you were lactose intolerant. What are you doing? And then we all just look at each other like birds for the next 2.5 hours. Oh, I'm just joking. It's the ice cream festival. Come on, everybody. And you all arrive at what for many of you has been a while. For some of you, it's only been a little while, but you are all familiar with Whole Home, which used to be a orphanage. But the two Aarakocra who have been the mated pair that have taken care of the orphans with such love, the town has come together. All of the orphans have been found loving forever homes. And now you are here to help these two ancient 30-year-old Aarakocra finally go back to their original home to be with the rest of their clan. And you are their honor guard, filled with gelato as you are. And it's a festive mood. Everybody is happy. There's some other people around helping the two. You've seen Quilara. She's waved at you and admonished you for having all of this ice cream. You also see Cluff, the her mate, the quiet bluebird that is just kind of watching everything with a little bit of a bittersweet look on her face as she's seeing you all, and comes over and gives you a big feathery hug, and welcomes you. And tell me a little bit about how all of you know Whole Home. Are you just here to help the honor guard, or were you did you used to live here? Who would like to go first?
Was definitely raised in Whole Home. She was very little. She left a few years ago to start her travels, but eventually made her way back. And she definitely returns the hug, and it's really like almost a bit too tight. And she kind of like climbs this old Aarakocra a little bit, and then like flaps away to land on like one of the nearby fences and perches there.
And Cluff is happy to do this familiar hug. She's kind of used to you doing the crawl up, although you're much bigger now, and she's a little more stooped, so it's a little slower, but it's just as warm. And she does that thing in where she waits until you let go before she'll let go. And she laughs a little bit and says, "Oh, it's so good to see you. I'm glad you're going to be here on this trip with us. Oh, look at the rest of you." Who else remembers Whole Home?
Bevers left Whole Home some years ago. They made their name in Whole Home by feeding everyone during a famine by very cunning cooking stuff involving the forest, and then went into the forest to learn more about plants and things. And so they're a bit bigger than when they left.
But only on the top, not on the bottom.
Yeah. They'll return the hug. And just very kind of stoic, turning their heads all the way around because they can. Which is honestly the main reason for being an owl, let's be honest.
Absolutely. Yep. And once again, hug is returned. And she says, "I'm looking forward to hearing if you found any new recipes where you were. That's you look fantastic. You all look so good. It's so good to see you." And it looked like Andy, they wanted to talk about their experiences.
If Cluff is gonna embrace Andy will absolutely return the hug, but being ever so careful as they stoop down to just not squeeze too hard because they're so small nowadays. It's so good to see you. I've missed you so much. It's been so long, and they're trying really hard not to weep in front of these wonderful people. Andy was a part of that orphanage, and Andy was there for almost their entire childhood because Andy was not a cute burb at all, and nobody wanted them. And eventually they found their calling, and now they're in a guard and protecting people. But And he's also oblivious to insults and mean things, so just slides right off their backs.
And Clough is quick to wipe away your tears with her really soft bluebird wings and be like, oh, it's okay. You can tell me all about all the new friends you have on the journey. We're going to have to go very slow. Quillar and I can't really fly anymore, so that's why we have the cart. But it'll be good to... No, it's all right. It's okay, dearie. It's fine.
I can carry you.
You could, but you know what? That's why we have the cart and the horse and that.
Okay, I'll carry the cart. Oh no, the horse. Okay.
Well, we'll have to ask the horse if that's what they want, but that's okay. We'll find out. So, and Takeo, you've been watching all of this.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your experience.
I think Takeo would maybe if Andy grew up in the orphanage, they would maybe know each other. So he would approach and just like pat them in the back, just like, it's fine. This has to happen.
Yeah.
It's okay. It all shall
Totally.
pass.
Yeah.
And he has this air, like he is relatively young, but he has this air of being much older. Just out of his position of like the sort of like mantle that he has taken upon himself. Like he has maybe modeled himself after this older Aarakocra. So he approaches them and just like tries to just take their wings in his wings, right? Aarakocra don't have hands.
They do. They've got.
They
they've
do.
got
Yeah, they have
arms
hands
and
and
legs
wings.
and
Okay,
wings.
right.
They are six. At least
yeah.
the ones that I tend to deal with. They've got all. They've got everything.
Yeah.
Why not?
I couldn't remember, but yeah. Also, he takes their hand and he says, "Thank you for everything you've done. You've earned this, and we will make sure that your work gets passed on. You know that we will take care of everything here. Everything will be fine."
Oh, we both trust you, and the fact that you're all living happy and healthy and enjoying ice cream. I mean, that's all we could ask for. And Quillara, who has continued to be hauling bags, despite the fact that she's super slow at it, she looks over, and she's always been slightly the more brash one, but she definitely has this loving look in her eyes as she looks back and says, well, you know, it would be a lot more helpful if you would help with the bags, you know? This would be nice. We could get going. Maybe we could even see the parade before we leave. And there seems to be so many bags. I mean, these two Aarakocra have lived in this house, taking care of these orphans for forever. And now essentially two grandmothers are moving out to a different house, and they're pack birds. So there's a lot of packs.
Maybe you should have put wheels on the house.
Oh, it's too late to do that now, but we'll do that for the next time. That's a good idea. But for now, why do you have so many shoes? You don't even wear shoes.
I will help. I'll help with the loading.
Excellent. As you are all helping with the loading, or hugging, or a little bit of both, whichever you'd like to do, a male bugbear in this really impressive fur that kind of, it looks like it's been puffed out and washed and curled, and you recognize him as a Rosark. He's one of the orphans that you all grew up with, and he's carrying a little box with him and walks up, waves at all of you. Hi. It's always been a little bit shy, and then he comes up to where both of the matrons are and says, before you go, I got you something. And he holds out this little box, and Quillara comes up and takes it and says, oh, you didn't have to get us anything, but that's so lovely. And opens up the box and pulls out what looks like a metal spoon, essentially. It's about 8-9 inches long. It's got a deep cup on it, like it's more of a scoop than an actual spoon. And it's gorgeous silver with some engraving on it. And if anyone would like, they can roll a investigation or an arcana check on this spoon and tell me what you get. If she's kind of holding it up to the light and admiring it and everything.
I'll give it a try with Arcana.
Okay.
That is 17.
Did anybody else want to roll an arcana or investigation?
Guess I could try.
Yeah.
I'll be busying myself.
13.
Yeah, and he's awkwardly flapping and hopping around trying to pick up as many bags as possible. Probably didn't notice the spoon.
So you definitely notice the intricate carving into this this steel spoon, because it's got this big, thick handle that even the large talons of this Aarakocra don't hide. It's gorgeous. And Teiko, you notice the slight shimmer of magic coming off of this. This is definitely something special. And Quillara is holding it in her hands and says, "This is gorgeous. Thank you so much." And Rosark opens his mouth to start to obviously explain what this thing is, and you're all kind of drawn to this moment. You hear the flapping of wings, maybe? I don't know. There's this weird metallic, and then you hear Quillara go, "Ah!" And I need everyone to roll a perception check.
That must be so confusing every time.
You said perception.
Yeah, perception check.
I got a nat 1.
Oh, this totally makes sense though, right? Because she's just essentially called out your name.
What?
I got an 18.
That's a 4 from Andy.
Modified 19.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay. So Feathers,
bad.
Kaka, and Teiko, you notice the bronze blur fly out of the sky and with tiny little talons grab the spoon out of Quillara's hands, out of her talons, and swoop back up into the air as she is just startled by whatever it is that has just stolen this gift that she got, and says, you get something and then you lose something. What happened?
That was rude. Who was that?
It was like an orange creature.
It's like this gold metallic, and it's flying away very, very fast, like up into the air and over the city. And it's got the spoon in its hands. And the two matrons come on over to kind of hug each other. And Cora is like, I didn't mean to lose it so fast. Oh no. What was that?
Can we follow it?
Feathers is
You
like
can
doing the
absolutely
hop
follow
thing.
if you like.
Like hop, getting ready to fly. Sort of. Should we chase? Hop, hop.
We should. That was definitely magical. What? I turned. Who was the person that brought it?
Rosark.
Rosark.
Who's
Rosark.
as stunned as the rest of you.
Rosark. What was that?
Oh, you gotta go get that. That's our gift, and it's really expensive. Can you go get that?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
definitely. Let's go.
We should.
You're gonna follow?
Yeah.
Yes. 1,000%.
It's kind of just as a parenthesis, it kind of just breaks my mind that we can fly. I forget that because it's so rare.
Well,
oh yeah, we can chase the flying thing.
I know, right?
You're flying
creatures. You have to think about those things in 3 dimensions. Maybe that's why this chase that we're about to go through is all about flying through the air. So,
Ek goes up to them and says, "If anything happens, just shout my name." Yeah?
just like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're all gonna take off?
Yes.
All right.
Go.
So here is what we're about to do. We're gonna do a chase through the city, and you're all flying creatures. So we're gonna do a little bit of a modified chase, and the way this is gonna work it's a skill challenge, essentially. You got to get 3 successes before 3 failures. There's going to be an obstacle thrown in front of you or around you, or something that's going to prevent you from continuing to chase whatever this thing is that's stolen the spoon. And 2 of you can join forces to overcome this obstacle for everybody. You can use any of your abilities, you can use any spells, you can use any of your, basically anything that you want. You've got an action and a movement just like any other time. If you're successful, all 4 of you will pass by. If you fail, you might fall a little bit behind. And once you've defeated an obstacle, then other people need to do the next obstacle. So basically 2 of you at a time. But you can decide after you find out what the obstacle is. And in this case, as you all take off into the air, flying high over the city, the tiny speck of this bronze creature that is fortunately louder than its size, you can all still pinpoint it. It dives down into the city to try to avoid you as it swoops around. And the first thing it does is it finds a residential area with laundry hanging from all of the ropes strung between buildings, huge sheets of different colors, blankets. Some of it is gorgeous. It almost adds to the festive nature of this ice cream festival that's going on. But it's this tiny little creature weaving in and amongst all of the laundry. And you are fairly beefy, Aarakocra. Who would like to help get everybody past this, and what would you like to do?
How many different laundry lines? Like, is it like several laundry lines?
There's several, and they're staggered. It is
Cool.
It is a Death Star trench run of laundry.
Well, I'm pretty good at perception, so I can guide whoever is the quickest. We would be each doing one roll, right? That's what it works. Oh.
You can either each of you roll, and I'll have a DC, or if one of you would like to help the other do something, I'll let that person roll with advantage. So,
okay.
2 of you are going to work together to get all 4 of you past this obstacle.
Okay. Well, does anyone want to do anything other than perception, or should we go with that?
The only thing I can think of is incredibly chaotic, and that would be cutting down the washing lines.
So you said what? What, Scrat?
Like cutting down the washing lines?
Yeah, I was thinking either cutting or like my beefy self was gonna try and pull down the lines
or like
for you to
Shrek?
fly over them.
So maybe here, I see you maybe going for one, and I will help you by telling you which is the one that you need to cut in order to get, the most out of our way.
I love this.
So, yeah.
Yes.
All right. So Teiko is helping Feathers Caca. I'll give you advantage on the roll. I would like you to give me, in that case, give me an attack roll.
Okay.
To see how many of these lines you can cut so you can make a clean path to your quarry.
I think the ideal attack roll to use would be my sickle. It's right there. It's, this is essentially a natural material, I imagine. Well, that's a 19. Second 19 of the game. I'm consistent. If nothing else, I'm consistent.
Well, and you are all successful at this. Describe to me, are you cutting in a straight line to get everybody past all these washing? Are you trying to follow the creature? What are you doing with your sickle?
Look, I'm sort of like, you say they're staggered, like up and down and stuff, right? So I'm going to be like swooping low and cutting up and then doing little like turns as I cut up there and then just going down one side so all of the washing lines fall like this, and either cover our quarry or reveal them. And
you do reveal them. You are all, thanks to this teamwork, able to see this creature that you've gained a little ground on. And and Andy, you are able to jump ahead of your friends as they have cleared the path for you, gaining a little bit of ground, but you've come out into an open area, kind of one of the market squares, where there's a whole bunch of families and kids, and there are just dozens and dozens of kids, all with these big round metal hoops that they're putting into washing liquid and then creating giant soap bubbles to float up into the air. And it's this gorgeous sight of these huge bubbles of multiple colors just flying up and out and all over the place. And this dragon, because you can now see that you've gotten closer, it's this tiny little clockwork dragon, bronze dragon holding the spoon, is weaving and ducking and dodging. And every once in a while it clips one of these bubbles and the soap gets all over it and it staggers in the air a little bit and you hear the metallic wings whacking on its side and then kind of this wet noise, and it shakes it off and continues. But now all of you need to get past all these soap bubbles. I would like to know what the two of you would like to join forces on.
Yeah.
Are these normal bubbles? They're so pretty. Should I just plow through them? Arms ablazing?
I don't know if you want to. I can get around them pretty easy.
Acrobats. That's a lot.
Yeah, I have a lot in like acrobatics.
What if we fly higher than the dragon and try and pop all the bubbles so like soap falls more on the thing?
What if you do that and then I'll come in from below and maybe grab one of these things of soap so I can get it under the thing. So when you get it from above, I'll get it from below.
That's so tactical. I love it.
I love it too.
Pincer maneuver. Let's go.
All right, pincer maneuver. So we got, it sounds like an acrobatics from one of you, and then, Andy, what are you gonna roll on?
I don't know how much athletics would be involved in bubble popping, so I could do acrobatics. I don't either way.
I mean, you can just beef it so you can get ahead of it, so you can
it's true.
Get ahead of it and then
I'm going for the speed for sure.
Yeah, so I'll let you do either. One is going to be more muscling through like your athletics. You'll take more hits of these bubbles, but you'll also clear the path, while is down low doing the swooping and the sweeping to get in a good position. So why don't each of you give me a roll on that?
Can I beef this up by using a key point to do Step of the Wind?
Sure. I will give you advantage on your roll for doing it that way.
Nice. Good, I have that advantage because that first roll was 12. And that is a good old 18.
Awesome.
Beefy Andy is absolutely going to power through, and with a modified 20.
Ooh, very nice. Yeah, so this pretty much works. You don't manage to get this clockwork dragon to fall into the tub, but between the two of your pincer maneuver, the soap falls over it, and instead of it being able to dodge deftly through all of these amazing bubbles, it's now covered in what kind of looks like oil at this point. And it's obviously having a harder time flying ahead. And you're starting to get super close. You think maybe just a little bit further and one of you is going to be able to grab it thanks to that maneuver.
That's not your spoon!
Spoon! It takes a hard right and you all dash around the corner, and it's left the main part of the city and gone into one of the parks in the middle of Boken. And for a moment, you are all startled by what you see, because this almost looks like there's a fight going on. You see stuff being thrown back and forth, and no, wait, that's not stuff. That's gelato. That's bits of sorbet. Oh, that's Rocky Road. And you know what this is. You've stumbled into the sorbet squabble. This is the hour that everybody goes out into the fields and throws ice cream at each other. Because sometimes you just have to throw ice cream at each other. And people are yelling and screaming and joking and laughing, and there's bits and pieces of all sorts of chili ice cream being thrown, and it's kind of a warm day, so they're all having fun. But this clockwork dragon has taken full advantage of the fact that there is essentially a low-scale battle going on right now, and it has flown super low to the ground to get under where these lobs of gelato are coming across. Some people have like grapefruit-sized pieces of sorbet, and they're like underhanding them, and others are just getting drenched in the neon pinks and the purples and all of the bits of fruit. Who would like to, or actually we're back to Teiko and Feathers Cacaw. How would you like to get through the sorbet squabble?
Eat all of it.
I was thinking the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, can we just fly with the beak open and just like try?
You absolutely can. I mean, this is La Tomatilla from Spain. If you want to just eat everything, you can go for it. I'm probably gonna ask for a Constitution saving throw, but
I'm a little concerned, Tico, about our weight ratios. I mean, what is the average air speed of a laden owl?
Maybe we should find out. Maybe. Okay, I have an idea. Try to fly as fast as you can and catch him. This is our chance. It's distracted.
Watch out for the rocky road. That's going to hurt.
I will. That is definitely going to hurt. But I will cast Sanctuary on Feathers so that he is not hit by the ice cream attacks.
okay.
And he can fly freely through them.
And
Perfect.
thank you
I mean,
very much, Grimjack, who's donated $50. Kicker, you're getting a nat 20 to use at your leisure.
Ooh, nice. All right,
Thank
so
you very much.
and all right, so Teiko is giving Sanctuary to Feathers Cacaw, and then you're just gonna mouth open plow through the sorbet swarm.
You should try and kickball one of the ice cream scoops.
All right, so with Sanctuary on Scrat, go ahead and roll me a dexterity saving throw as you're trying to avoid being hit to catch up to this thing.
Okay. Now I'm pretty good at that. I'm gonna save my advantage. I'm pretty good with this. So modified 23.
Awesome. It's as if the sorbet wasn't even there. You just glide on through anything that comes even close. The Sanctuary spell takes effect, and it's almost as though you watch chunks of Raspberry Dream just alter their course in the middle of flying.
they go to me. I try to eat them as he dodges them.
Teiko, I need a Constitution saving throw to avoid brain freeze.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Oh no! I rolled a 1.
Oh no! Okay, you're gonna succeed. You're gonna catch this thing. Teiko, I want to know, with a natural 1 as a chunk of raspberry sorbet enters your beak,
Oh my god.
what happens? How do you fail so miserably?
Maybe I suddenly find out that I'm allergic to raspberry, and I didn't know up until
Oh,
that
no.
moment. So I just start getting like coughing, and like I instantly cast lesser restoration on myself. But maybe I will have to stay behind doing that.
He has to land. However, all of your hard work has paid off as Feathers, you reach out a claw and scrape against the hide of this clockwork dragon, and you hear as you are trying to grab this thing, and the soap is all over it, and it's been hit by some vanilla ice cream, and it's obviously tired, and it falls and tumbles out of the sky past where all of you get through the sorbet swarm, through the trees on the outside of this little park, and skids to a stop about 20 feet away from a gnome that's standing there that is holding what looks like a remote control and has goggles over their face and is scowling and pulls off the goggles as you all it'll take an extra second for you to get there, but the rest of you come swooping on in to surround this clockwork dragon holding this gift. And the gnome pulls off their glasses. I was like, hey, you got soap all over my dragon.
I want to use deflect missiles to catch a glob of flying ice cream and throw it right in the gnome's face.
Yes!
All right, so you automatically do that. I do need you to roll, what is it, the D10 to see if you can lob it?
Yeah, D10 plus 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you catch it without a problem.
Okay, that is 7 plus 8, which is my brain blank 15.
That is plenty. All right, so you toss it at this gnome?
Yeah, right in the face.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Grimjack, who's coming with another nat 20, this time for Jess at Burst of Hope.
Oh, nice. All right, roll your attack on the gnome with this.
I want to use my nat 20 for this.
Hey!
You're gonna use this Grimjack nat 20. I want to know exactly what happens. You tell me.
Oh, I do like a spinning flip in the air and actually kick this like glob of I don't know, a mint chocolate chip that just flies and splatters right on the gnome's nose and spreads across their entire face, and you can just see it in slow motion, just covering the entirety of its facade.
You got something there on your face.
Oh! And in slow motion, he falls backward, dropping the remote control, reaching up to wipe away the mint chocolate chip, and you all see this gnome poof onto the ground.
Imogen Heap plays.
Yes.
What you say?
Ooh, that's rolling, Manuel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's an epic end to this chase. So as done that, the rest of you are standing over it's this clockwork dragon. It's intricately made. It's not very large, and it's on its back, and it's doing that thing where it's just flailing. You're all sadly kind of familiar with this as Aarakocra. You've all ended up kind of dazed on your back, just flailing.
It's
and you hear the whirring.
Cute. I want to scoop it up, and I look at it. I'm like, "Who's a bat dragon? You're a bat dragon. Give me the spoon back."
And it's got the
Nice.
spoon in one claw.
Give it back.
And there's like this weird mechanical whirring noise as you try to pull it out of its claw, and it's not giving up.
Feathers. It's so cute. It's like a little mechanical. Have you ever? Can you tickle it? Do I squish it? What do I do with it?
Maybe the control has something.
Oh, that's right.
I specialize in plants. I'm very out of my depth. Maybe,
I'm just gonna start randomly pecking the controller.
Sick.
Okay.
Yes.
Roll a d4 for me.
Oh no.
I got a 1.
I'm sorry, what'd you get with your d4?
A 1.
A 1. Excellent. Andy.
Yes. The dragon is very close to my face.
The dragon's very close to your face, and you're trying to pull this thing out, and the claw is shaking, and you're hearing this. It's like the grinding of gears, and it's obvious that this thing is just stuck. And you watch as its mouth opens, and I think this is a saving throw. Let me double check. Yes, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
It's fine. It's just so cute. Oh, what are you doing with your little mouth? It's all open and something. It's gonna be a 5.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it's a clockwork dragon, and so you're actually not too surprised when a cute but damaging gout of flame goes right into
Oh.
your face. You're gonna take 12 points of fire damage.
Oh no.
It
I'm
wasn't
a
a huge
roasted
gout of
bird.
flame. Yeah, your feathers are pretty singed. It was just so close to your face. Do you hold on to the dragon?
No, I'm letting go. Ow! That's on my face.
Is the gnome still there?
The gnome is still there, just like pulling gobs of mint chocolate chip off of his face and desperately trying to get it out of his eyes as he's like,
When I see the fire, I instantly just like say, Andy, are you okay? Why is this thing
It's not
hurting my
cute.
friend?
Not cute anymore. It breathes fire. Spoon stuck shifting gears.
I'd like to land on the clockwork dragon and like try and turn its head away from the party. Like just
Sure.
face that
Are
way.
you gonna use it as a flamethrower?
roll me an athletics check, and I'll roll an acrobatics, and we'll do a contested grapple
okay.
over this.
Wait, so the fire's still coming out?
No,
Is it
it was a
oh.
gout of flame.
Oh, okay,
but
okay. I thought it was
This is yeah.
It's just constant
Preventative.
flame.
Yeah.
throwing.
I've seen a hazard. I'm acting. I'm gonna use my advantage because I suck at athletics,
Okay.
and that's an 11.
Okay. It rolled a 19, so you do this impressive leap into the air to land on top of it, and it like rolls away from you at just the right moment, still gripping the spoon.
It's moving.
It's
It starts to
dangerous, is what
stand
it
up.
is. We should destroy it.
It is tiny.
It's so cute.
Hey, I like yell at the gnome. What is this thing? How do we destroy it?
No, don't destroy it. I paid a lot of gold for that. What? No.
Why is it here? There's children around and it spits fire. This is dangerous.
Well, it only spits fire if you press button number 1. Did you press button number 1?
Eh? Did you press button number 1?
No,
Yeah.
No.
What button did you press?
I pressed this one, and I press a different button.
Roll me a d4. And if it's a 1, go ahead and re-roll it.
3.
You watch as the dragon, it's gotten back up and it's kind of hissed at you, and it's still got the spoon in one of its claws, and you press another button, and you watch as the eyes, which had previously been this reddish orange glowing color.
Oh no, are they going to shoot lasers?
I'm so tempted to say now they are and have them shoot lasers. But what actually does happen is it powers down, and you watch as the eyes go blank. And while it is still kind of frozen in this menacing, it stops making any noise, and the eyes go dark, and you think it might be off. And the gnome kind of staggers to their feet and goes, all right, how much gold to get you to just forget about all of this? And it's like he's inching towards the clockwork dragon, like,
Why were you using such a cute contraption to steal the spoon? That was a gift, and you're being a thief.
yeah, but that's what I do, is I thieve things, and that's a really nice spoon. I mean, haven't you ever seen a scoop of endless sorbet before?
Did you thieve the dragon too?
No.
Can I roll insight?
Yes.
Can we bandwagon that insight? Like,
24.
With a
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
Yeah, the dragon is stolen, the controller is stolen, the goggles are stolen, his shirt is stolen. I think maybe even his underwear might be stolen.
Wait, since I'm an urban bounty hunter, might I know who this is? And if there's a bounty on them?
You know exactly who this is.
Oh, wow.
You know this gnome is part of a thieves guild, and yes, this gnome has been someone that's they've got a pretty out on them, and if you bring this gnome to the authorities, there's quite the substantial reward.
I would like to immediately attempt to tackle and grapple this gnome.
All right, we're gonna do another contested. Give me an athletics, and I'll do an acrobatics. And
Yeah, I'm going to use my advantage for this.
sure.
Ooh. 21.
Beat me by one. Yeah, it's this tussle. It's this mad, like, rolling over tussle. You've eventually got to use your wings and your arms and your legs to, like, pin this squirmy little gnome who doesn't seem to be that strong or that fast, but in the presence of impending incarceration, has fought as much as they possibly can, but you managed to pin them to the ground.
He's slippery from all that ice cream.
Ah, mint chocolate chip. Ah, and he flails. And yeah, if you would like, you can take a moment, bring in this gnome. Does anyone take the clockwork dragon and the controller for it?
I'll definitely look at the spoon first of all. Like, just make sure it's not scratched or bent or anything. Is it still intact?
Yeah, it looks absolutely like the moment before it was taken by this creature. It looks just perfect.
Okay, and does the claw release by now, or
now that it's
Yeah.
off, there's no more. It's not fighting anymore. So you just kind of pull the little tiny claws off, ding, 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 and you can take the spoon. Or actually, now you know it's a scoop.
Yep, the scoop. I show them to the others and I say, I believe we have what we came for. That thing, however, is dangerous. Someone should, I don't know, keep it safe, away from children, preferably.
We should probably return it.
Who do you think it belongs to?
I think this one knows.
I'm not talking until I can speak to a lawyer.
Well, we'll have to take you in first before you can speak to a lawyer, so.
All right. Are you going to take him on in and grab the dragon
Yeah.
and grab the scoop?
I think so.
All
I assume
right.
we have a place for unruly people in whole home. Either, I don't know, a jail or
The big freeze.
similar. Yeah.
Well,
It's like a cardboard box that you have to sit in, and it says the shame box on it.
oh, it's the worst. You know what's worse than the shame box? Like the shame box is awful, but what's worse is the sad look that Clough and Qualara give you before they put you in the shame box. Like it's hurting them just as much.
Disappointment.
That is the real punishment.
That's they just look so sad doing, this punishment to you to put you in a box for a moment. And it's always only like 5 seconds, but it's the worst 5 seconds just to see them looking down at you, looking so disappointed. More importantly, would know about the local authorities that you can go to turn this gnome in town to be able to get your just rewards. You grab the scoop, you grab the clockwork dragon. Are you going to turn in the dragon as well, or are you keeping that?
It's up to the rest of the team.
You mean the controller? I mean, Andy has the dragon, right? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I
you've
guess
kind of.
yeah.
Or if you want, you can now go pick up the dragon and pick up the controller, and take a look at everything. And it's up to you whether you want to keep it or turn it in with the gnome.
I think we could. I mean, I'm gonna take the controller. If everyone's okay with it,
Oh, does that mean I have to...
because I think if the gnome will just take it back if we leave him where in the same place he is.
All right.
Feathers hasn't done too well capturing the dragon and is looking at it a little sheepishly, maybe trying to shuffle behind someone else so that they might be volunteered instead.
But its name is Trevor. Can I keep Trevor?
Well, you have to put up signs and try to find its proper owner first. But after a
But-
week, if no
but
one
Trevor's off.
claims Trevor. But Trevor
Yeah.
belongs to someone already.
Yeah. Fine. You start snapping pictures of Trevor and gonna go print out papers. Trevor, is the scoop safe?
Just sort of like leans in and whispers to Andy conspiratorially, just put the signs up where no one will see them.
All right. As we move our way into a short break before we move on with the rest of our game, I'm going to say you turn in the gnome and you collect 200 gold pieces as a bounty. This petty thief has stolen a lot of things. They don't know who...
As I turn him in, I want to give him that like same look of disappointment.
Yep, big arms crossed.
Oh, I need an intimidation check.
Okay.
I'm behind. I would like to assist
Ooh.
by doing the same behind them.
By
Also,
looking...
Yeah, big
Does
and
help get
imposing.
advantage?
Absolutely. To cross... You've learned from the best about how guilt can work.
19. Which is good because I have +0 to intimidation.
The whole walk back, the gnome has been like, I ain't saying anything. Nope, I want my lawyer. It's just been stoic and everything. And as you hand him over to the authorities, and as you're leaving, the two of you form this memory of when you both, as small, tiny little chicks, disappointed your mothers at whole home, and scowl and look completely disappointed. And not only does the gnome look abashed, but all of the policemen and guards immediately look abashed too. Everybody's just like, oh.
Oh.
One of Feather's legs comes up into his fur and his head turns around away.
Yep, you get 200 gold for that. They tell you they don't know who owns the Clockwork Dragon, so until you can figure out, if you would like to figure it out, otherwise it is yours. And you head back with the spoon towards your two charges to help them move to their next home. And with that, we'll take a short break, and I'll hand this back to Scrat, and we'll come back in just a moment after the break.
Okay, yeah, well, everyone, do as we do. Get up, stretch, take a bio, grab a drink, do all the things you need to do to look after yourselves. We'll be back in 5 minutes as we do the same. See you shortly. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a fantastic break. We certainly did. Lauren, I'll hand straight back to you.
Welcome back to your former home, and you are now returning with a little bit of loot. You've got the scoop of endless sorbet and a clockwork dragon, and the controller for the clockwork dragon. And fortunately, you've arrived just as Clough and Quillara, your two, former mothers, but now honored guests heading back to their Aarakocra home, have finished packing the cart. There is a nice comfy place at the front of the cart for both of them to sit and guide the horses. Both of them at the ripe old age of their mid to early 30s are ancient for Aarakocra and can no longer fly, but they're just as full of smiles and joy to see all of you again. And Quillara is quick to hold out her hands and go, yeah, they'll be so happy. You found it. I didn't even get a chance to see what it was. And you give her the scoop?
Yeah, I immediately give it to her and I say, it's safe. It's safe. It's a nice souvenir. I look out for Rosar to see if they're there. Did they already leave?
He's nearby. You get the sense that he was just helping finalize packing everything. So he comes trotting on over, especially as he hears his name. Is just like, you got it. You're amazing. This is great. This. I mean, I wasn't gonna say anything, but it kind of cost a lot of money. So, but it was totally worth it. Totally worth it for the two of you. You know, as a thank you. So, I didn't give a chance to say what it was. It's one of the few commemorative things you can get at the ice cream festival. Here. And he gently takes it back and he says an arcane word, and a scoop of sorbet appears in the spoon. Just
that is unreal.
He flips the scoop over and puts it's this little looks like a lemon sorbet in his paw, turns it back over, speaks the word again, and another one appears. And he's like, it'll just keep doing that. It's the best. Every once in a while you end up with a beet sorbet, not amazing. I don't know. It might be for someone else. Does a lot of fruit, does berries, chocolate, mint. I've been told it can do alcohol, but I think someone over legal age has to do that. So obviously, you're just gonna have to keep trying it, right? And he hands back the scoop with the lemon sorbet still in the scoop. And Quillara can see all of you with your eyes wide and like holds out the scoop going, sorbet?
It's the scoopiest scoop. Yes.
Yes,
please.
Absolutely. I mean, I look at Rosar. I say, is it unlimited? Does it last? Can you do that forever?
As far as I know, all it ever does is sorbet. So you're gonna get a brain freeze after a while. But yeah. That's why I said it was a limited edition kind of thing. A whole bunch of us got together and pulled our money, and it just keeps making sorbet. It's kind of fun. And at this point, because they're grandmothers, the two Aarakocra have pulled napkins out of nowhere and have been making little scoops. They're not like huge. They're basically about like fist-sized scoops of sorbet, and every single time she says this word, and it's another color. And there's another one. And she hands the napkins off to all of you and says, a treat before we all start the journey. Here you go.
Oh.
I actually made something for you.
Oh?
Yeah, and takes out this sort of, it's almost kind of like a cone, but it's like a very delicate hand-carved like feather cleaner thing with like a little bit on the end that you can use to like help scratch pin feathers and stuff, and gingerly holds it out to them. And I rolled my die with my proficiency in my wood carving tools to see how good it was, and I got a 24.
Wow. That's good.
And so they're now looking at this scoop and this Scratcher, and the two of them, their eyes well up a little bit with happy tears, and they're like, "This is so nice. Did you make this yourself?"
Yeah, I made it on the way over here. It's no big deal.
Oh, but it's a big deal to us. Thank you so much for making this. This is gorgeous, and oh, that's nice. Oh, it's that spot you can never reach, right between the two wings. Oh, that's nice, and for getting this back, 'cause you're just the best. I said I wasn't gonna cry.
And don't cry.
And now there are just wings and a cuddle pile and a bugbear as you all
Anne gets very uncomfortable with like very intensely emotional situations, so she's like completely still with her feathers like straight out, like.
Oh.
And you do notice that like as the two grandmothers come around to do the group hug, that suddenly there's just like one wing separated in case you need an out, and then the rest of you, whatever comfort level you have for group hug, and then quickly everybody is wiping away. This is happy. This is happy, happy, happy. Everybody has a home, and you're all just so wonderfully talented, and we should get going before the sun goes down. And there's those last little goodbyes, and then the two grandmothers get into the cart, and they've got this beautiful horse, roan horse hooked up to all of their stuff, and the two of them, and you know that it's about a day's journey through some what could be dangerous-ish terrain, which is why the four of you are here. You are here to protect your former mothers on this journey back to Ironhaven, which is the town that they grew up in. It is the ancestral home of Aarakocra, and guide them on back. Is there any last little things you'd like to do as you leave whole home again?
Who's driving the cart?
At the moment, Quillara is driving the cart.
Oh, okay.
And Clough is sitting beside her. The two of them are kind of cuddled together. An Afghan has appeared out of nowhere and is spread across their laps.
Oh.
Andy, were you gonna carry the horse?
I don't. I mean, I will if that's what Quillara wants, but I don't know if that's the most.
You offered earlier.
Yeah, and I obviously can if that's the best ritual to get them home.
Sounds like you're trying to get out of it.
Start seeing Andy like hugging the horse.
Roll an animal handling check.
Oh, buddy. Yes. A 2.
Oh, the horse. So you come in and you're gonna grab the horse kind of around where the saddle would go, like the big portion right there.
On its trunk.
On its trunk, exactly. Yep. It starts whacking you with its tail, and so in your face you're just getting.
Yep. Well, see, nah, it's.
I don't think the horse likes to be carried.
It starts to sidestep as he says that.
Strong, independent animal and needs no burb. So clearly, I'm just holding up this. You know, it's okay. I'll carry it over the river later.
Just has a very smug look on her face. Like,
Clough looks a little like she's unsure what to do with all of this joking, but Quillara just nods and kind of winks over it and looks at you and says, "I'm sure if it comes to that, it will be very well appreciated. But for now, if you'll let go of Gary, we'd like to get going, please."
Right, of course. So sorry, Gary.
You're welcome to ride in the cart. I don't know if you wanted to fly overhead or if you brought horses. It's up to you, but it's time to get these old bones on the road. And she's going to very gently urge the horse on and start to pull the cart through the town and towards the main road. Would you like to ride in the cart? Would you like to fly overhead? Would you like to have some horses? I can, as a DM, make horses magically appear.
I can.
That is quite an ability.
The eyebrow.
I can fly high above and be lookout. My speciality. I've become quite the hunter in my time.
That would be useful. I know the place that we're going through is not terribly dangerous, but it's always good to keep an eye out when you're traveling through the wilderness.
Teko is definitely more nocturnal, so maybe he's like, "Yeah, you do that. I'll keep an eye on their bags, and I climb into them and make a cozy space for myself."
Awesome. Roll an investigation check.
Oh, okay. Investigation. That is 14.
You found the bag of doilies. It is a giant bag of doilies, but it is perfect for a pillow. And also, if you
Awesome.
pull out enough doilies, you think you could pad a bit
Yeah.
of the cart so you could lay on down in a
Yeah,
comfortable
I'll
way.
make a doily nest. For
Absolutely.
myself, yeah.
Nest of doilies in as many colors. It is a festive doily nest. How about and Andy? How about the two of you?
Climbs in the back of the cart and starts carefully making poisons just in case.
Okay. I'm assuming you have a poisoner's thing, an alchemist kit or a poisoner's kit or something like that.
Poisoner's kit, and I have proficiency.
Awesome. I would love for you to. I don't know. As a DM in 5e, I don't know if I've ever had someone make poisons before. I just suddenly don't know what the. Here's what we're gonna do.
Medicine?
Sure. I would love a medicine.
Nice. Ooh, that is a 25 total.
Wow.
Sweet jeepers.
As the next hour of your travel, as you are getting out of town, goes by, and you are brewing potions next to this doily nest that Teko is in, you make a potion. You make a poison. It's great. One tiny drop ends up on one of the doilies, but you manage to scoop the doily up so that it just lands on the cart, and then quickly just cover that up, and then put the doily back down, and no one knows. And you now have a vial of poison.
Just hope no one licks that spot of the cart.
And Andy, what are you doing? We've got we've got feathers flying overhead. We've got Teko and inside of the cart. What would you like to be doing?
The second took out the poisoner's kit, Andy would have slowly backed away, and Andy's gonna work on their cardio and just do the backpedaling backwards, let the cart get ahead, and then sprint forward, but not too close to Gary to not startle Gary, and then just keep going back and forth, and then if he gets tired, just fly a little, but just kind of on the side.
All right. You all wind your way out of town, get through the main gates, and head off on the road towards towards Ironhaven. And just about the time that you get out of the town, the sun has reached its peak and is starting to get into afternoon. I do need, let's see, I guess it would be either Andy or Feathers Kaka to make a perception check as you are on the road and traveling.
Okay.
Feathers.
Yeah, I can do a perception check. Okay. 15.
15? Okay. You're getting into an area of thicker trees, and as you're flying high overhead, you see that some of these trees are large enough that they actually cover over the road in front of you, and so you're needing to fly a little bit lower. And just as you're doing that, you do notice there's movement in the trees. There's something you can't quite see what it is, but it seems to be jumping from tree to tree.
Okay, so as I continue my investigation, exciting news. Forest is my natural explorer territory, so I'm I'm feeling pretty confident in being able to track these creatures somehow. So I'd like to kind of swoop over and a little lower near where I saw the creatures, and maybe, I don't know, would we have talked about some kind of, like, I don't know, sign language, or do I just look back to Andy and just hope? Caw-caw!
3 clicks is danger.
I think since you all grew up in Whole Home, I bet you all had like some secret codes that you all remember from when you were chicks. So are you gonna fall back on that? See if they remember.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be like baseball sign language, you know, like.
Yeah, head bobs.
It's just a series of very serious bird faces.
I'm a little rusty. I think clearly you are telling me that the forest is nice and there's berries ahead. Right, Feathers?
Like shouting from up. Danger! Danger!
I've never heard of that kind of berry.
I'll say,
Oh.
because of the shouting of danger, Takeo, you wake up and Andy look around just in time to see this one creature in the trees, and it is almost expertly camouflaged. The fact that you saw it basically came down to the fact that it was in the process of lolling out this giant tongue as this large greenish brown bullfrog creature gripping the sides of one of the trees is getting ready to try to lash out at one of the 2 grandmothers up front.
Oh no.
No, it's a frog mimic.
And with that, we'll roll initiative.
Yes.
And I'll go ahead and put this in the chat to make everything easy. So,
do I have a chance to use my vigilant blessing, or would you say that I was too asleep?
is that a reaction?
It says. Oh no, it's an action.
Then no, at this
No, yeah.
point,
I'm like, too surprised.
Feathers was able to keep you all from being surprised, but at this point, we're just going to go straight into initiative. So,
4.
okay, and Takeo
I have 15.
and Andy,
7.
awesome, and Feathers.
Well, I thought it was below average, but now I'm not so sure. 6.
I have good news for you. The creature in the trees. What was the modifier on that? I need to double check. I think that's only a 9. Hold on. I'm sorry. That is a 10. The creature did roll a 10. So everybody's rolling low except for Takeo, who's going to get to go first. What would you like to do? This creature it looks like a large bullfrog, and by large I mean also big and also the official size as far as like medium small creatures. It is gripping the side of this tree with webbed claws, this giant tongue rolling out as it looks on especially the frail grandmothers with what can only be assumed is hunger in its froggy eyes.
Oh no. And the cart is still moving, or are they pulling up when they see that?
The cart is still moving, but you've been going at kind of a gentle walk.
Okay.
And this thing is it's basically even with the horse.
Okay.
And it's about 30 feet up in the tree, just gripping, looking hungry.
Okay. So Takeo, when he sees that, he immediately jumps up, grasps his holy symbol, which is basically a kind of like obsidian-looking gem that is carved to look like kind of like a star, but in maybe, I don't know, jagged, irregular ways, looking kind of like a nature like a crystal grown by nature, but is very much carved in that way. But he grabs that and he says, "Mothers, be careful!" And he projects. He's going to use his Twilight Sanctuary, which causes a sphere centered on me that is 30-foot radius and is filled with dim light. The sphere moves with me and lasts for 1 minute. And whenever a creature, including myself, ends their turn there, I can grant them good things. Uh, so
I like good things.
Yeah. That is my action. And at the end of my turn, I will grant myself temporary hit points, I suppose, from the sphere.
Being shrouded in dim light.
Yep. And I would imagine that it looks kind of like its own mini sky in a way. If you look at the edges of the sphere, maybe it has like stars and constellations.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's kind of like a its own plane, mini plane in a way. I rolled an 8 for the temporary hit points.
So there you go. So for the purposes of and the grandmothers and the frog that is shortly going to be coming, the dim light makes it difficult to see, so disadvantage on attacks, I'm assuming?
It's only on perception checks.
Only on perception checks, okay.
Yes.
And does it do anything, is there anything else that and the grandmothers need to be worried about, or do they get any extra protections?
No, it's only the dim light sphere. So there's also another thing that I can do, which is called Eyes of Night, which basically grants everyone within 10 feet of me dark vision, but it doesn't say that it costs me an action.
Is it one of your channel divinities, maybe?
No, it just says you can give the benefit of dark vision with no maximum range to any number of creatures you can see within 10 feet. But it's not marked as an action. Oh, no, never mind. It's an action. Sorry.
An action? Okay.
Yeah. So I'll do that next turn.
All right.
Once Feathers is closer.
And would you like to move anywhere, or are you going to stay in the cart?
I will move like as close as I can next to Mothers to protect them. Like I will climb through the cart to the front.
Sure, easily done. This is not a covered cart. You can move essentially to the front of the cart, which is right behind where the two of them are seated. And with that, the Goliath bullfrog is going to go. You hear this disgusting, wet, slurping noise as its tongue lolls out of its mouth, and it is going to try to go after one of the grandmothers. Because they do look like two that can't get away. Yes, exactly, just like that. Oh, that was a noise. And so it's not disadvantage on attacks; it's just on perception checks.
Yeah, just on perception checks. Yeah.
Okay. So out comes the tongue. No. It's so distracted by your field of stars that you watch as the tongue slams into the side of the cart. You're all rocked a little bit as this massive tongue just shakes the cart, and then it eyes you suspiciously, and then because it can multi-attack, it's going to look for an easier target, and it does see nearby, does see Andy. And it's gonna try to go after Andy with its large tongue.
Perfect.
Does a 14 hit?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, you are gonna take 11. Nope, I'm sorry. You're not taking any damage. My bad. The tongue whips around and pins one of your arms and one of your wings to your side as this sticky tongue comes out and around you. I need you to make a strength saving throw, DC 14.
Let's heckin' go. DC 14.
Use that Dorito bot, Andy.
That is a yeah. I don't know if you could. The kind. Yeah, it's one of
Does
the.
Does it actually say
nice.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
Nice.
So
That's 23.
So it does manage to grapple you, but when it tries to yank you off your feet towards its large froggy mouth, what exactly does it look like that you stop yourself from moving?
I always skip leg day, but I'm gonna grab onto the cart and I'd be like, "Not my mamas!" And I'm just like rooted into the ground. No.
And you do not move. And that is the end of the frog's turn. It is Andy's turn. You are grappled by a tongue.
Sick. You can see some bulging bicep as I'm trying to get my arm not pinned to my side. I would. How chaotic could I be here? Let's see. I think I want to do a thing, and that thing is going to involve divine smiting his tongue.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can see the arm that is pinned to my side. I have like just the hand, and I'm reaching up from my wrist and contorting just a touch with this hand. So I'm bracing, and I'm like, touch the tongue, and I'm like, Dragon Ball Z style.
Okay. I do believe I love all those noises. I do believe you do have to make an attack against the tongue, right? In order to
Absolutely.
And you are grappled, but you are not restrained. I think you're still doing it at a regular, So go ahead and make your attack.
Okay. Does a 15 hit? What? Sorry.
I was gonna say, would this be a terrible time to remind you have a nat 20 sitting in your pocket?
I do, but I'm not ready. I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
They're holding on to that nat 20. Yes, a 15 does hit.
Okay, and then that's what, 1d8 or something. Oh, 5. No, is it 5 at level 5? Okay. Math.
All the
That's I know. That's 13?
13. I'm assuming radiant damage?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you also roll for your attack? Because you get your weapon damage too.
Oh, heck. Good old weapons. 6.
6 more. Awesome. What is your weapon? What weapon are you using to smite this tongue?
So yeah, I'm like touching the tongue, and then I guess I will let go of the cart and take out my little dagger, but it's got wings on the handle, and they're like the exact colors as Mama's.
Aww. and Clough and Quillara look really impressed and also kind of like, oh, your dagger is so cute. Okay, anything else?
No, that's good. We're good.
All right, Andy, you're up. Or that was Andy. So Feathers is up. You're on deck.
Well, first things first, I'd like to place my hunter's mark on the froggo. I just focus on it for a second. Like, Terminator-style vision comes up in the owl for a second, like target acquired. Yes. Then I'm going to fly above. I'm going to drop 4 arrows and say, attacking mothers is things frogs should pay for. Make the Aarakocra safer. And I'm going to cast Cordon of Arrows around the cart. I plant 4 pieces of non-magical ammunition around the cart. Any creatures that end their turn in there will get attacked, but I've chosen Aarakocra to be safe.
Awesome. Anything else as you drop these 4 arrows?
That is my action and bonus action. I'll move closer. I'm swooping down.
Okay. You can move, so you weren't flying so far ahead or so far above that you can move as close as you want to this Goliath bullfrog, how close would you like to be?
30 feet up.
Okay,
Directly
you
above.
are.
Yeah.
The 4 arrows drop. I will say that the 2 grandmothers are familiar enough with your spell to know to stay inside them, so they actually rein in the horse for a moment to make sure that they don't leave your cordon. And yeah, it is turn.
Would it be an action or a bonus action to just dump this poison that I made on my talons?
I'll say it's a bonus action.
Everyone made these sweet birds, and I have like an edgelord vulture.
We need it.
You say that as though your edgelord vulture isn't a sweet burb.
Yeah.
Why can't you be both?
Yeah, so dumps this poison on her talons and then just like bursts out of the cart at this giant frog and just goes at it with its talons.
Sure.
Making 2 unarmed attacks with its talons. Ooh. That first one is a 25 to hit.
That
and
hits.
Then the second attack is a 19 to hit.
Both hit.
Okay.
Roll that beautiful monk damage.
11 plus 12 is 23. That's 23 damage. And I don't know how this poison works. You're the arbiter of this poison, Lauren.
Okay. I'm going to say for the purposes of ease, it does an extra d6 poison damage if you hit. So go ahead and give me 2d6 since you hit twice.
And that's another 7 total. And
Nice.
then I would like to use since I'm a ironically named Way of Mercy monk, I would like to use one of the abilities of this. What features on trade? Martial arts. Hands of Harm. When you hit a creature with an armed strike, you can spend a key point to deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage. If the creature is incapacitated or poisoned, it takes 3 rolls of 1d6 damage instead.
Okay. It is sadly not incapacitated. It is not poisoned. You've done poison damage. So go ahead and roll that extra damage.
So it's just 1d6?
Yes, because it is not poisoned or incapacitated.
And that's an extra 2.
All right. Yeah, you lay into this thing. You do a ton of damage. What do your strikes look like?
I just it looks like I fly out on a wire almost directly at this frog and then just upward slash with one talon and then backspin around and slash with the other talon.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. And you're now right up in its face. It's got its tongue holding your friend, but it still looks at you with one kind of milky eye, and you hear this grumbling in its giant belly as it both takes this damage and also is super upset with you.
And S pupils just dilate as she stares at this frog and goes, "Ah!"
Awesome. Anything else?
That's my action, bonus action, and move.
Okay. So at the bottom of the round, the 2 grandmothers, the one is still holding the reins ready to take off if they need to. They're essentially going to take the dodge action. We're back at the top of the round. Takeo, what would you like to do?
Okay. I will make sure that my companions are not bothered by the night field. So I will take that action to grant them dark vision to all of them.
Okay.
Basically, I do that thing again, and I say a prayer to the night, and I basically say, "Give us the guidance we need in this our moment of need." And I focus my energy, and everyone's eyes go from being like their regular bird eyes to all of them look like Takeo, which are completely black for a moment. And that is my action. For my bonus action, I will cast Spiritual Weapon on this creature. So I will extend a claw towards it, and then basically a version of my claw that is made of, or looks to be made of, like the same obsidian material, appears in midair and tries to scratch at the creature.
That's awesome.
Uh,
Go ahead and roll
ooh,
your attack.
Nope, that is a 4 plus 7, which I don't. If there's a hit, that would be 11.
That sadly does not hit. You've done so many awesome things this round, and just getting the spiritual weapon up is enough. And you're also trying to avoid your friend who's up there, and so it just doesn't quite connect. But you do have your spiritual weapon out. Anything else? Yep. Would you like to move, or are you staying in the darkness?
I will try to position myself as best I can so that the creature can't. I mean, I know this is impossible in game mechanics, but I'm basically trying to interpose myself between the creature and mothers, so that if he tries to attack them again, he would focus on me. So I'm raising my shield and raising up.
You know, I would say, since you have a shield and they're seated on the front of this cart, if you would like to stand there with your shield over their heads, you can absolutely do that.
Yeah, I would love to do that, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Teiko is standing in front of this Goliath bullfrog, which it's now its turn. It's going to try again to reel in its prey. And I'm going to go ahead and use my... Or actually, no. You have to do a saving throw. Sorry, I thought I had a natural 20. So give me your strength saving throw, please.
That's 18.
You once again hold fast as the tongue yanks at you and pulls. And the bullfrog is looking upset, and it's looking at the monk next to it, and it's looking at this weird spiritual claw that's next to it. And it is about to move. So you are going to get an attack of opportunity, as it is going to leap off of the tree, and it flies almost impossibly high into the air, almost 40 feet up. Feathers, it almost gets close enough to you as it does this sideways standing leap. Not close enough to actually come, within 5 or 10 feet, but it jumps up. And then it's going to try to land on you. But first, is going to get their attack of opportunity.
That is one stretchy tongue.
Okay, that is a 21 to hit.
It definitely hits.
This is becoming one of my favorite characters.
Monks are so much fun.
7 damage plus 4 poison. That's okay. 11.
Awesome. Yeah, you rip into one of its giant back legs as it pushes itself off of the tree, but it is going to try to belly flop right on top of its prey. This one I will use advantage. Yeah, that is a 26 to hit.
Wait,
yeah.
Who is it hitting?
It's going after... I almost said Gary. Andy. It's going after
Gary! Go to Gary!
No, it's going after it's going after Andy. I'm assuming that hits.
Absolutely.
You are gonna take... Oh, I put that too far. You're gonna take 15 bludgeoning damage. And then it is going to... It can't quite bite into you just yet, but it is going to try to rake you with its claws.
Sick.
It might not hit, though. Does a 14 hit?
It does.
Oh, all right. With its claws, you are going to take 8 slashing damage as it just belly flops onto you and then lays into you with these webbed, clawed feet as it just continues to try to down you.
Not my pecs.
And it is done. Andy, it is your turn. Feathers will be after you. Andy, you are currently grappled and restrained by a massive, massive frog.
At the end of the frog's turn, does it finish in the cordon of arrows?
Did the cordon of arrows go around the cart?
30 feet from around the cart.
Oh, then yes, absolutely.
Then at the end of its turn, one of the arrows will fly towards the frog, dealing 3 piercing damage.
Yep.
Pew!
Nice.
Andy, just before you are essentially swallowed by the blubber of this frog, you watch an arrow go right into its side. And it is your turn.
Sick. Oh, man. Andy's very uncomfortable. Little help, guys. Any help whatsoever. That'd be just great. I'm going to... how pinned am I?
You are currently
all four?
restrained.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a sumo wrestler sitting on top of you at the moment.
Sick. Can I judo shrimp out and like make a strength roll to try and wiggle out?
Yeah, you can either give me a athletics or an acrobatics check to try to get free, and it would be an opposed one. So
sure. 1,000%. I'm trying to muscle my way through this. And I'm just like, and another year. So it's a 26 total.
Okay, I was about to say, because I rolled a 19, but I'm not going to have that big of a modifier. So yeah, you're going to use your action. Did you athletics or acrobatics your way out?
I athletics.
All right, so you actually, there's this moment where you all watch this massive frog just completely engulf your friend on the ground. And then it's as if your paladin friend picked up the frog and just threw it 5 feet next to you. Just like,
wow.
And you've had to use your action to get free, but you are free.
That's fine. I totally just power lifted a giant frog.
Super powerlifting. Anything else you'd like to do?
See, I told you I could leave the horse.
So true.
The horse with those, it's a little weird because the horse also has the black starry eyes from being able to see, and it looks back at you and it nod of respect. All right, anything else?
Is as paladin there are hands that I can lay? Is that an action or reaction?
An action, I think.
Okay.
So,
yeah, it's fine. I'm victory posing here.
All right. Feathers, it is your turn.
Just before that, I will just roll because I forgot about the last turn. Anyone who ends their turn in the dim light gets temporary hit points. So that is 3 for Andy. I don't know. Should I just roll one time and like have it be the same result in order not to be rolling every turn? What do you think?
Yeah, go ahead and roll, and as long as it's not a 1.
Okay.
Why don't we go with the initial roll of 8?
I mean, I would love to do that. But...
Give me one more roll, and as long as it's not a 1, we'll go with that for everybody.
Okay, I rolled 4.
Okay. So anybody who ends their turn in the dim light gets, and I'm assuming that does not include the frog.
No, of course not.
Okay. Frog's like, All right, Feathers. Oh, Feathers.
Muted.
Silenced and muted, and
I flew too high. I'm coming back down.
There you go.
I'm of course impressed by Andy's unbridled rage, and I'm going to. They're a paladin. They don't need healing. They'll be fine. So Feathers is going to take their short bow. I think it's a short bow, and fire a longbow even, and fire a shot off at the frog.
All right.
Will an 18 hit?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. That will be 10 points of piercing damage. Plus my hunter's mark, another 15 points of damage. Another 5 points of damage, making a total of 15, sorry.
Very nice, yeah. What vital area do you sink this arrow into?
Well, I'm flying right above, so I'm going to try and go straight down, like, between the eyes. Like, you know,
it kind of gets stuck a little bit. You know how frog hides, like bullfrog hides, they've got it's almost leather, and so it doesn't go quite all the way through, but it definitely leaves. It's stuck there, and you watch the whole frog like quiver, and it's looking pretty hurt. What else would you like to do, or is that all?
Yeah, bone. You know, I'm just gonna stay up here. This is fine. I'll stay here.
This is fine. Oh, you are muted, but
I'm
it is your
muted.
turn.
Sorry, it is my turn. Just remind me, what time of day is it, or night?
It is early-ish afternoon, and it is a pretty nice day.
Okay. So sun's like 3/4 of the way across the sky?
Yeah.
Okay. Leaps up into the air and is silhouetted by the sun for a moment. Sort of like we're about to initiate like a super.
Okay.
Before landing like right on the frog, and she will unleash her full arsenal of attacks with a flurry of blows.
All right.
2 normal attacks and flurry of blows, so that is a 19 to hit.
That hits.
21 to hit.
Yep.
18 to hit.
Yep.
And then 17 to hit.
Yeah, they all hit.
Okay, so that's 4 hits, and I will also expend my 2 last key points to juice up those last 2 of those hits with an extra 2d6. So I believe in total that is 10d6 that I will be doing, and that plus
Sounds
3
about right.
for 4 attacks. So 10d6 plus 12.
The power.
Yeah, so I'm initiating my super right now.
Yeah,
I love it.
Kind of like One Punch Man, like just.
This is what fireballs
7,
wish
8,
they could
9,
be.
10, 11, 12. 13,
While you're doing that math, the 2 grandmothers are still
18,
clutching their
20,
Afghan in the front of the cart, watching all of this with this strange mixture of pride and also a little bit of oh, woo, woo, woo. And Cluff
130,
is
31, 32.
a little more on the shocked side, while Kulara is very close to starting to cheer you all on.
44 damage.
Whoa!
So cool.
So she just unleashes this huge barrage of just furious talon slashes, and it looks like she teleports a couple times. You're not really sure. It's hard to tell because it's dark and she's moving so fast. And then she just ends with this 2 like double clawed overhand strike, or she just slashes down in an X and then lands in front of the frog with it like behind her.
Yes, absolutely. And the trees sway a little bit in a slight breeze, letting a shaft of light shine down on you in this moment. So you are half lit and half in shadow, looking epic as you do this Aarakocra, so 5-point landing with 1 wing up, and it's epic. And this frog is looking like any moment now you could make giant frog legs out of it. It is completely covered in wounds, and it's got these arrows, and it is looking really hurt, but it is still somehow standing. There's not much left to it.
Just look up at Teko and
Yes,
you got this.
It is my turn, right?
It is your turn. You might have this.
Okay. So just taking that cue when air lands with their hands and wings, just spread my claw, my spiritual claw flies from behind her and tries to make an attack.
Sure.
Run natural 20. Oh my
Hey! I'll drink to that.
Oh, perfect moment. Okay.
I love it.
Okay, so that would be 7 4. It's 11 plus my wisdom, which is plus 4. 15 points of damage.
So describe in gory detail the death of this creature.
Oof. I will say that the claw, just taking up that opening, the claw goes just swiftly and moves almost imperceptibly through the creature, exiting through the other side. Just maybe I don't know if we're saying this as an anime because you described it pre-anime, so it's just the silhouette and the claw just like goes through the other side. It gets that silhouette gore that is not really like, it's just the shape and the shadow you just see kind of like pour out and then just maybe fall.
And it quivers as it's taken this beating from all of you. Your monk has just almost dismembered this thing with one epic slash. And it's like your spiritual weapon is that last claw strike. And it freezes. And then it just slumps to the ground like a deflated balloon, losing all of its cohesion, the tongue lolling out and rolling for several feet on the dirt ground as you've all defeated this massive creature. And there's this moment of quiet, and then you hear your two grandmothers.
Yay!
That was horrific and awesome.
That's a good summation of my job.
We're so proud of you and also a little horrified, but mostly proud. Is there anything you'd like to do? It seems to be safe at this moment, and they look like they're ready to get away from this stinky frog.
Her feathers sort of like puff out with like pride. She's like, she's looking very pleased with herself.
As well as
Andy's
you all
all
should.
goopy and like sticky from being grappled by a tongue, and I like rage go over to the tongue that's lolled out, and I pick it up and I start strumming it like a guitar. I'm like, yes, we win, mostly because my friends are awesome.
Give me a performance roll.
Oh hell yeah!
Can I help by also playing my drum, which I have proficiency in?
Sure. Do I want to actually, instead of a direct help, I just want a performance roll from you as well.
Okay.
Excellent. That's a 14.
Awesome.
I also got a 14.
Awesome. I mean, it's not a tuned tongue. Obviously, this is not one that you need to spend a couple of minutes beforehand getting it to A440, but it has that low bass. Like, it's less about the note and more about the boom, 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 boom. And as drum kind of plays off of that really well, and you just create this fun little beat that the two grandmothers, while they've been applauding you and being both a little horrified and very impressed, now start clapping along with. The horse, after this impressive display and giving you the nod, even kind of starts to sway back and forth.
Bless Gary. We love a dancing Gary.
Yeah, Gary's trotting a little bit. He's got his head up high a little bit. Gary might think that he defeated this frog. You're not quite sure.
That's fine. For the honor of Gary, I need to heal.
All right. Do you want to spend some time here? Do you want to heal? What would you like to do next?
I would like to wash the poison off of my hands.
Sure. There's not much left. You did a bevy of blows. And so, yeah, you can take a little bit of time and wash those off. Because the last thing you want to do is go like scratching your eye. And then the next thing you know, it's like hot sauce. Oh, it's the worst. How about you, Feathers? You've now descended. Yeah. Do you want to pick up the remains of your cordon of arrows?
Yeah, I'll come and land, and those arrows will last for 8 hours if we want to take a short rest. I say not looking at Andy, but like deliberately not looking at Andy.
Ah.
If any of us want to take a short rest, those arrows will last a little while.
Yeah, I mean, a rest, because leisurely pace for mamas, and you just see Andy patting themselves. Yeah, rest for mama. That was scary and stressful, and let them breathe a little.
I will, so because Andy is definitely roughed up, I think the most out of all of us, I will spend a spell to heal them.
Andy definitely tanked this battle, whether
Yeah,
they
totally.
wanted to or not.
Sure.
For sure, yeah. So I will spend level 3 spell slot to cast Cure Wounds. Should be 7, 10, and okay, that is 20. Wait, 20 hit points that you recover.
Sick.
When you tap into your twilight powers to heal someone, what does it look like?
Ooh, I would say that it looks like maybe the like maybe a shadow moves over them for a moment, over the wound, and after the shadow passes, it takes with it the blood and the scars and everything, and it just keeps moving, and eventually just stretches and disappears and merges with an actual shadow.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
All right. Are you gonna? Do you just want to take a few moments, or do you want to do like a short rest, like spend an hour here?
We could do a rest. I mean, how are mothers? Are they like?
They're super impressed, but they're fine. You all did a very good job of protecting them. If you talk about taking a rest, then Clough will say, well, not too long. We do want to get there before nightfall, or else we're going to have to stay out in the woods. And I haven't camped in the woods in a very long time. And the arthritis on the ground is just not so good. So let's not spend too long, okay?
We can rest on the cart, right?
Yeah, that both of you looked so comfortable making the poison and doing the doily things, so we didn't want to take over. But as long as we don't spend too long here, we should be okay.
I like the contrast of making the poison and doing the doily.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Poison doilies. That's the next magic item I'm making. Poison doilies.
Oh, snaps.
Yep. I'm making a
Throw
grandmother
them like
monk.
shuriken.
Exactly. Where it's going, grandmother monk. Oh, I'm gonna have to. Yep, this is mine. Copyrighted. It's mine. Doing that.
Can I play in that game?
Yes, you can. We're all grandmotherly Aarakocra throwing poison shuriken doilies.
That's a cartoon as well in that.
Absolutely.
I'll gather up my arrows so we can continue.
All right.
What if you like took the dirt around the arrows and held it like in the dirt with the cordon like still stay if we like walked alongside the cart holding the arrows in the dirt?
I don't know, I never tried it. I could try balancing the arrows on the edge of the cart.
Yeah, maybe that'll work.
Big brain plays here.
I like the idea, but I think with cordon of arrows, it is a specific area, so I'm gonna have to say no. But if you want to leave them for the next 8 hours, they will just attack the next thing that's not an Aarakocra.
Oh, yeah, no, I'll gather them up. Yeah, no.
Okay. All right, you gather up the arrows. You know, sometimes you have to lay some minefields as a DM. You gather up the arrows, you heal, you take a moment to clean up, you all get back. Are you taking up the same positions, back of the cart, flying overhead in the doilies?
Yeah, I'll fly up again.
Okay. I was gonna say, as soon as Feathers either gets tired or says something, I will relieve him, but if he's content up there, then I won't say anything.
I think Feathers has mastered the art of the no flapping glide.
Oh yeah.
So
that locked wings in place, finding the air currents.
So like maybe after like
drafts.
Depends how long the journey is. If he's like there for 8 hours, you know, bird gonna get stiff. So
you think you might have some albatross in your family history somewhere? It's the whole trip is pretty much most of the day, but you do know that right around sundown you think you're going to make it to Ironhaven, so you'll start to get tired, but it won't be exhausting.
Yeah, I'd swap out with Teiko when I start getting tired. Not a proud bird.
All right.
I real quick would like to pet Gary between his eyes, like pap pap, and kind of see the muzzle and be like, "We're bros, Gary. Maybe I can like ride you a little bit, work on the, you know, and then I can give you a Burby back ride later."
I'm gonna need another animal handling check for all of that. Although he's definitely feeling more charitable towards you than he was before.
That I wish it's a heck for me. So not one.
Oh no!
Gary, please.
All right. You pet Gary on the snout, right in the nice place, right there. And yeah, Gary's cool with that. That's super cool. Then you start talking about giving Gary a bird lift, and he just very slowly pulls that big horse muzzle away, like, buy me dinner first. And just...
I was afraid Gary was just gonna like bite your hand.
I accept this fate.
Gary did watch as they tanked an entire giant frog, so I think they might know better than to try to bite. But yeah, the ride, not so much.
That's okay. I will just casually walk alongside at the front by Gary.
All right. You continue on your journey. A couple more hours go by. It seems to be a lovely day. The sun is starting to set in the distance. Feathers, you know vaguely where Iron Haven is, but none of you have actually ever been there. You just know the directions, and you know it is not next to the road. It is off-road a little bit, because why would a home for Aarakocra need to be near a road? Because you can fly. So I will need a perception check from you, since you're the one soaring overhead.
Yes, indeed. Feathers is mostly just looking for a lot of metal. It's called Iron Haven, right? It's got to be loads of metal. That is an 18.
Excellent. You don't see any metal, but you do clearly see about a half an hour off the road by a casual walk, which is kind of what the horse and the cart are doing. You do see a series of buildings woven into the treetops, an entire town of houses and large nests and some gazebo-like structures, all made out of this very dark wood that stands out against most of the other trees in this area. It doesn't seem to be an actual metal, but it is almost this silver black, and it is off in the distance. Seems to be gorgeous.
We've just had a donation come in. Sphinxral has nominated Andy to draw from the deck of many things.
Oh
Yes.
Oh dear. All right.
Have you got your own deck there, Lauren, or no?
Yeah, Scrat. If you can cover
That's
me for
fine.
that, I am.
That's totally
I'm deckless
fine.
at the moment. There are
Use-
reasons where I don't own a deck of many things. I might have had problems with the deck of many things in the past. But
Use the power of your biceps!
for charity and for all of you.
So, Jess, tell me when to stop.
The time is now.
Probably have the deck of many things pulled up.
You draw the rogue.
Rogue. Where's the rogue? Oh, it's dear. Oh wait. Okay, so the rogue is, unless you've got it already. Am I just stalling?
Yeah,
for no
I've got
reason?
it. I can. I've played this a fair amount. An NPC becomes hostile towards you.
Oh no!
You know that moment ago where you're like, is the horse gonna bite
Gary,
me?
please!
Oh dear. Well, that's too perfect. Feathers, you look off in the distance, and as you are pointing to your friends saying, there it is, all we got to do is do a little bit of off-roading. And Andy, you've been walking along next to Gary, and Gary's gonna try to bite you. Just out of nowhere.
Just this feral horse out of nowhere. It's just so funny.
I'm gonna
I bobbed my head one too many times.
At least it's not the grandmas.
Yeah.
That would break my heart. I don't know if I can
Mine
make the
too.
grandmas. If this is a long-term campaign, it would be one of the grandmas and you wouldn't know. But after talking about being bit by the horse, it's kind of perfect that it's the horse. I now need to pull up horse stats. Not seahorse, not a riding horse. Yes, a draft horse. Thank you, D&D Beyond. Here we go. It's a bite. Oh, it's gonna hit you. That's a 23 versus AC.
Yeah, I only have an 11, so it's fine.
Dear. Okay.
I suddenly am very grateful for Teko's healing.
You take 9 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
As it reaches out with that giant horse muzzle of its and clamps down on your arm that you've been just, and then it is it's not going to attack again, obviously, but it is going to move as it's going to try to get into a more advantageous position and swing the entire cart around. And you watch as the grandmothers in the back, one moment they were enjoying a nice leisurely walk through the forest, and now they're on a carnival ride. They go, "Wah!"
Initial D music starts playing.
Absolutely. What would you all like to do in this moment?
I'd like to quickly thank Honey and Dice for the $30 donation. No donation attached. If you want to gift an advantage, let us know. But thank you for helping us reach our goal.
Thank you so much.
You're now being attacked by your own horse.
I want to leap on the horse and try to calm it down.
Okay, I'm gonna say you can easily leap on the horse as it is focused on the one person that it hates, but I will need an animal handling check at disadvantage because it's super angry.
Yeah, I imagine so.
It is the angriest horse.
16. 15.
It's still murderously angry, but it stops swinging around the grandmother. So that
Shh, calm down. No.
And it's doing that it before it was dancing, now it's stomping, like it's getting ready to charge, but you have managed to, for the moment, persuade it to not charge.
I think Tekumi instinctively takes to the air when the cart starts swinging. They're just like, what's wrong with it? What is it? Is it possessed?
I think it just really hates Andy.
I'm like way above. Oh, I think I can see Ironhaven. What on earth?
From the second Gary bit my arm, it was, shock. So not a peep from Andy until Gary moved the cart around, and you just see Andy's neck stretching out, and like throw my head back and go, ah! And that would, like, I picture that being like the time where you finally landed on Gary. So unhelpful squawk for me.
That's okay.
Oh, no, it's developed a taste for Aarakocra.
At least one very specific one for sure. You've been given a moment thanks to the successful animal handling, where it's not immediately attacking, but it is still like you can almost see the flames coming out of its eyes. It's just enraged.
I will try to fly closer to and like just give you a tap. I will cast guidance on you. And I say, try it again.
You can. I will say it's not at disadvantage this time since you've been successful once. So just give me a straight roll.
Guidance is another D4.
Yep.
On top of that, so that is a 19 total. Thank you, guidance.
Yes.
Nice. Nothing is going to stop the hatred in Gary's heart for Andy. It is deep and it is long-lasting, and at some point in your future, there will be a reckoning with this horse. But for the moment, it's going to back away. It is going to heed the Aarakocra on its back. It is going to turn away from Andy with a disgusted. And as for the moment, it is not directly attacking you, but you've made a horse enemy for life.
I thought what we had was special, Gary.
And now it's special, except you now have a horse foe. The things that come out of my mouth during D&D, I love it. Horse I can't.
Horse nemesis. Horse me.
Yes. But for the moment, it will.
Equine enemy.
There we go.
Equenemy.
This is the next 15 minutes. It's just us coming up with names. Oh yes, Gary's gonna go off and Gary's gonna train and Gary's gonna learn how to fly just to track you down. But for the moment, Gary is going to...
He becomes a Pegasus! What the fuck?
That's the next one shot.
Exactly, the return of Gary. Gary 2, Electric Boogaloo. Let's do this. But for the moment...
I'm flying away. I'm like, peace. Peace out. Heck you, Gary.
And Cluff and Quillara are like, oh, no, don't, no, we're just almost right here, and then there'll be dinner. Don't leave.
Yeah, I'm checking the skies to go see how close we are. I think Feathers said something about being close, so I'm gonna go find somewhere far away from Gary.
The two grandmothers on the back are just giving you these pleading don't leave looks, and then directly in front of them is on top of this horse, which is giving you a death glare.
And I'm just on top of the horse being like,
It's like
feel like
Andy's
this is
And you're
all
both-
my fault. I kind of instigated this. I'm very sorry.
And both you as a bird and it as a horse are...
Yeah, right?
It's like Andy comes up higher and you all right?
I have a horse bite sized bruise on my beautiful bicep. How all right do you think I should be? Gary betrayed me. I will never forget this.
Maybe we should just keep you and Gary apart.
Gary's not making it back.
I'm gonna roll a perception check on the horse. No, it didn't hear you. No, that was single digits. Nope.
Are you
It's still
planning on like, flying the horse and then dropping it?
Oh my
We'll find out
gosh.
soon enough.
Oh my goodness. Stunned silence from Feathers.
The silence is broken by Quillara, who says, "We can just let the horse go. We can't bring the horse into Ironhaven anyway."
Perfect.
This is the rivalry of all time. I love
Yeah.
it. So, the original, there is a small path that leads to Ironhaven from here. It is more like a game trail than anything. It's not something that you could easily bring the cart on. And now, of course, with the raging fire of hatred inside of Gary, you're unsure if you can lead the horse and the cart to Ironhaven. But you do have to somehow get the grandmothers there. So it's kind of up to you what you'd like to do next. It's not that far, but it's several minutes off the path.
Is it possible for us to carry all of their stuff, or is it way too much?
It's way too much, but you figure if you can transport them, the stuff, other Aarakocra can be dispatched to grab the stuff. You were going to have to do some kind of pulley system when you got to the bottom of Ironhaven, because all of you know there's no, unless you can fly, there's no way to get up there. So you are going to be the transportation system for all of them. But it's, you think once you get there, others can be dispatched for the stuff. The bag of doilies must be saved.
Yes. Well, I'll say I can take one of them. I'm not very strong, but I can try. And I start like maybe strapping or maybe unstrapping my backpack in order not to carry so much weight. And because they can't fly, right? That is the thing with them.
That's correct. They're old enough that their wings have it's just a little too much for them to be able to fly anymore. You all know that you cannot carry alone another creature of the same size. However, they are light Aarakocra themselves, and you think if you had a little bit of help, or if there was some other way that you could work together, or if there was some other system that you wanted to do to get them to Ironhaven.
What if two Aarakocra carried them together?
You absolutely.
Mama Cluff!
It would be.
Mama Cluff! Mama Cluff!
We can just have them on a line.
You have so many shoes. You didn't bring a flat palanquin for us to give you a beautiful approach. You didn't prepare for this moment. How could we forget? There's no palanquin. Quickly, are there any sticks around? We can jimmy one up with some of these sacks.
We also don't have any coconuts. I'm so sorry. Yes, if you would like to come up with a way to carry them.
And all my
So
references.
I'm working. I'm trying. Y'all are good. You can, if you want to try to come up with a way of carrying them between you. Certainly, two of you together could carry one of these grandmothers. There is always the danger of things going wrong and falling, but it's up to you. Yeah, if you want to take some time, there are plenty. You're in the middle of a forest. There are sticks aplenty.
I really enjoy like the ritualistic aspect of like the four of us being able to carry them on a little.
Also,
rope. We could like braid the rope into some rope into like a net thing.
Mm.
It might
we have all of those doilies that we can make it all nice.
Yes, let's make a doily net.
I think that sounds lovely, but it might look like we've captured the grannies.
and transported them on a nest of doilies?
Well, I'm just thinking of as we lift, maybe it'll look fine. Don't worry.
We could decorate the outside of it.
Yeah. Like just have planks together and sticks and it'll be easy peasy. We got this.
And then maybe we could have it like be very artistic and it could be seen as like, I don't know, performance art.
Especially if you fling sorbet at them with your scoopy scoop.
I was thinking we could file for like a arts grant and get a little money out of this.
Why are you so smart?
Definitely after you've transported us, you should do that. You should go on back to Boken. Maybe it can be a nice display piece on the side of like a public building or something. That would be very nice. I would pay for that. All right, are you creating this doily rope stick performance art piece of hardware?
I think so. I have
right.
wood carver's tools and proficiency with that. Does that count for anything?
Hell yeah.
Sure, all of this is going to count for things. I want each of you. I want each of you to make a roll on this and tell me what are you rolling and what are you doing to assist in creating this transportation device.
I will easily gather planks and proper sticks and try to like guide in making the perfect carve to like match the diameters of the branches. And I'm like, yeah, if we just set them gently, they're like Legos, although I don't know what those are, but I've heard they're really cool. And
like
yeah.
Lincoln logs.
Yeah. That is either.
Like, you had those as a kid, building blocks. They're made out of little pieces of wood. We painted them all sorts of fun colors, and they're not copyright in any way, shape, or form. Building blocks, yeah! Okay,
Nobody ever let me play with them.
Construction logs.
There you go. All right, so we've
Logos?
got... Logos.
Perfect.
Copyrighted. All right. Andy, I want you to make an investigation check to find the perfect logs.
Yes.
You were going to use your woodcarver's tools and you were going to...
Carve these logs and get them all put together nice and use some ropes to like... Use my rope to like... What's that word? Lash them together and all that and make sure it's all nice and sturdy.
Okay. Give me a dexterity check, or I'm willing to entertain other options, but that's the one I'm going for.
I'm good with dex.
right.
Would it be dex plus proficiency?
Yes, because you are proficient with your woodcarver's tools. Andy,
Yes.
what'd you roll?
I'm using my nat 20 to make the best dang Lagos Palanquin ever.
There's not 20 use of the night.
Not only does your nat 20 mean that you find the perfect size logs, you're gonna get advantage on your roll.
Oh.
And turn into a ghost.
Oh!
Nat 20. Okay, you find the perfect logs. Is carving them in just the right way to set up this lattice work. Tekko, what are you doing?
26 total, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Sick.
Is there any way that I can assist magically? I have the mending cantrip, so maybe I can make the work faster by instead of having to carefully cut away pieces of the material and then like put them back together. It's literally like breaking and then like mending them back into the shape that we want.
I think that's awesome. Yeah. So Andy's pulling over these perfect logs, is carving them in just the right way to get them to fit together perfectly, and then you come up and just mend.
Yeah.
And it's almost as though you're joining these together in just the right way, like they were made to fit like this. Feathers, what are you doing to help?
I think Feathers would have started to gather and then saw how good Andy was at it and didn't want to be shut up. So like they like Overwatch. Someone needs to look out for frogs. I'll look out for frogs, and I'll be on Frogwatch.
Perfect.
Frogwatch 2020.
Frogwatch. Give me a perception check.
I can do that. A dirty 20.
With a dirty 20, just as this gorgeous lattice work is being finished up, doilies being placed in just the right places, rope tied, you've even created like tiny little seats so that they don't have to lounge, but they'll be upright and seated in little seats that can be easily carried by two of you on either side, arriving at Ironhome in style. And you're flying overhead, and you notice from the same direction that you came from that place where there was the giant frog, you see more movement in the trees. And you maybe only have a few moments before something else arrives.
Movement in the trees. Movement. Few moments. Get it done quick.
Okay,
It's done.
Let's go.
Oh, let's pick them up then.
Oh, all right.
Maybe we should free the horses so they don't get eaten. They can run. I don't know.
It's just Gary. It's just angry Gary. Do you want to free Gary?
Yeah, I'll free Gary.
All right. You free
Give
Gary.
him a good smack!
Who stands there and continues to watch Andy.
So I smack him, he just stands there.
You smack him and he quivers a little bit, and then he looks back at you, and he looks back at Andy.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the two grandmothers are crawling, have gotten into the chairs. You've made seat belts. It's great. They're comfortable. Who's going to be carrying the palanquin? What are we calling this thing? The rope doily funness? We'll come up with a name for it later. Or you will now because you're better than I am. They're in this thing. Who's the two people carrying it?
I am not strong.
I'm not strong either.
At all.
I'm pretty strong.
I saw Andy lift a frog.
Andy did lift a frog. All right, so it sounds like and Andy are taking hold of either side. You're going to be moving at half speed, which is still pretty fast for an Aarakocra, but you do manage to lift and start to transport feathers. You see, they're maybe only about 10, 20 seconds away. You see two more of these massive, evil-looking frogs. Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. And they are jumping from tree to tree as they start to come towards you. And I'm assuming from the heart motions that we've got another donation.
Yes, Uncle Ook just came in with $20. Thank you very much, Uncle Ook.
Okay. Everybody is lifting off. The horse is staring at you. You do know that these frogs, they have a leap that is amazing. You've got a moment or two before they arrive. Is there anything you would like to do?
Oh, I feel bad leaving Gary. I'll cast bless on him. I guess I don't know. I can't carry him.
Okay.
We saw how that
literally
went.
Yeah.
You
I
cast
literally
bless.
said, "Bless you, Gary," and fly away.
All right. He manages to stop looking hatefully over at Andy for a moment to look at you and give you a nod of respect, and then continues to stare at Andy. How about you, Feathers? Any last minute things you're gonna do to try to hold off these frogs?
I mean, like as we raise up, like Feathers is gonna be looking down at Gary. Like is Gary still staring up at Andy, or when? Okay, so once we get about 30 feet up, I'm gonna cast my last cordon of arrows and just have equine creatures as the safe creature. Like.
All right, you cast Cordon of Arrows. As the grandmothers are lifted and brought to the safety of Ironhaven, which, as you get closer, you realize, oh, it's called Ironhaven because these are ironwood trees that this entire community is made out of. And you are all greeted with respect and cheers, and Clough and Quillara are brought into this new home that was their old home with like a hero's welcome for all of the work that they've done for the orphans in this town, for the people, for everybody. They're ushered away to rest in a nest that's been specially made for them. You also hear what sounds like the horrible sound of horse whinnying and frogs being slaughtered. And that is where we're going to end our game today. And maybe if we get together some other time, it will be the return of Gary. Who knows? As he is
The revenge of Gary.
Apparently, you've made a horse of me for life.
Aarakocra 5e2, the Equinox.
That's amazing.
There we go.
We have to do it now.
Yep. Scrat, next time you have a charity game, we'll all be back. We'll all be back, and it'll be the hunt for Gary. It'll be great. But yeah, thank you so much for playing in my silly little game.
It was so fun.
It was brilliant.
Thank you. Why don't we do a quick whip round? Just say who we are, where we're coming from, what we're putting out there, and then we'll get ready for the next stream. We started with Lauren last time, so let's go the other way around this time and start with Burst of Hope Jess.
Hello, it's me. I go by Burst of Hope on Twitter. Thank you for having me in this game. I'm such a noob in D&D, but I try my bestest, and I felt like this was a lot of fun. Yeah, follow me on Twitter. I am trying to do some things, but I super appreciate this cast, and thank you for everyone who donated. Heck, this is awesome. Charity's great.
Yeah. Yeah, we hit 10% as well this stream, by the way, so we've done 10% of our goal. Thank you very much, everyone. Next round, we have our Warriors.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for donating for this awesome cause. Stick around if you want to keep affecting the games. Do it because this is super fun. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch mainly as Warriors. All of my content is in Spanish, so if you speak Spanish or know someone who does, maybe bring them over and they can play D&D with us and have fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Next around, we have Kika.
Hi, I'm Kika. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/KikaVO, and all my information is in the pinned tweet there, so just check that out. Yeah, it's been so great playing today. I had so much fun, and I got to play in Aarakocra for the first time, and everybody's characters were amazing.
Absolutely fantastic. It was fun to play with you. I think is this the first time we've played together?
Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was lovely playing with you.
I think we first interacted at PAX Unplugged this year. That was the first time we ever had any sort of interaction even. So yeah,
Wonderful.
First time playing, definitely.
It's been a delight. Last but most certainly not least.
Very fun.
Last but most certainly not least, a big thank you to Lauren. Lauren, thank you so much for starting off this whole charity marathon. Thank you.
Thank you. It has been my absolute honor. Absolutely. Stick around. There are so many more awesome games. I'm going to be, as soon as I get back to the hotel, I'm going to be coming back onto the stream and watching as much as I can over the next 24 hours. If you want to see me retweeting all of the other games on my Twitter, I'm at OboeLauren. You can find me there. I also talk about other Dungeons and Dragons things and occasionally a classical music thing. I'm the community manager for D&D Beyond. sing the theme song. It's a lot of fun. And you can also find me playing Aarakocra, the Dragonborn Cleric, on Beyond Heroes on Wednesdays on the D&D Beyond Twitch channel. Come by. I'm about to be executed for crimes. Yay, that's fun. Anyway, stick around, donate to all the other streams, go cheer on everybody else. It's going to be awesome. And thank you all of my wonderful players who signed up to do a charity stream and then were thrown at me and told, hey, go be a burb. Go do this ridiculous thing with this ridiculous person. And thank you, Scrat, for putting this all together.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, everyone, I'm going to put 20 minutes on the clock. We're going to get the next group ready. Next up, Katie Quixotic, who's in chat, is going to be running a game. It's going to be a ton of fun. We will see you in around 20 minutes. Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.